Hello, you gorgeous gamers, and welcome to another episode of Gamers Assemble! The podcast you didn't know you wanted, really don't need, but we're still doing this anyway. We're still here, 25 episodes later.
We got the gay bit.
The gay bit?
The queer gaming podcast.
Oh, well, the queer gaming podcast. Sorry, the queer gaming podcast, because we are all super gay.
We are?
Surprise!
Shit! I'm gonna go tell my wife.
Flannel already.
Tonight, I am joined by our resident techno mage, all-round good guy, little droid dude. It is the Beauty Gamer!
Hello.
Hello.
Oh
my god, it sounds like you live under my stairs.
That's because I do.
I thought I heard something go bump in the night last night.
Yeah, you really need to put some fucking padding on that. Every time I stand up, I smack myself right in the fucking noggin. Sick of this shit.
I love it. And we also have a resident griefer and all-round good time gal. It's Dotted Llama!
It's me. I'm Llama.
Llama!
Ooh.
I've been playing that Llama in my living room song all
Llama
weekend.
in my living room. Hello, Busty in the chat. Tig's looking all PS1. Why am I looking all PS1? What's going on? You can choose your weapon.
Sure.
No, you've cleared up now.
Oh, have I?
It's amazing what happens when you take pills.
It was the cream. Right.
Thrush cream.
Thrush cream.
Calliston,
God.
Calliston duo.
The duo. It's the 1-2 punch. Packs it in.
Oh, wow. This has really gone on a tangent already. So, we have had a little break where we've got revitalized, something. We're back. We're better than ever. We've got a whole list of episode ideas that are going to be really good fun coming up for y'all. If you have any ideas, please feel free to drop us a mail at gamersassemble@gmail.com. Yeah?
That's the one.
Actually, I remembered our email address.
I mean, it's
.edu.org.uk. Yes, queen.
It's written on the doc, the Google Doc we use.
Oh yeah,
the email address.
Yeah, that one that we're all reading to be professional. The show notes.
Yeah,
we actually have shown it. We are sort of semi-professional. We're semi a lot of things, but semi-professional is
semi something.
one of the things that we are. In some alternate universe, in the alternate universe, there is like us, and we are actually super duper professional at this. But
what do you reckon our alternate universe selves are like?
We're all straight, and this is
ew.
This is Gamers Assemble, spelled GAMERS. And yeah, we don't talk about crass homosexual things.
We're all called like Becky, Chad, and Brian or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And no offense
I'm not
to
here
anybody
for it.
listening with those names.
And you'd be there like, introducing tonight my bro in it.
Yeah, my bro in it.
What up, dudes? We're here to play some games, yo.
Oh, yo. Oh my god.
Pussy
Did I do
Tycoon
it?
said that.
Was I straight?
Our alternate version things would be Lined Alpaca, Barefaced Gamer, and Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, brilliant. Nobody likes Pooh.
Great,
That's
I hate
another
him.
story. Let's go. Right, so a little bit of housekeeping. We have D&D scheduled in for next Saturday, so we're going to be rolling with bot. See what I did there? Rolling. Oh, I might have to do that after.
No, I was Tina Turnering it.
The great queen.
Rolling with the bot twist.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to say rolling way up bottom there, and I was like, that's a whole sort of different podcast. Yeah, we all know how much I love a sing and dance around my living room. That'll be me after the cast.
Being locked down in the city. COVID-19 got me working from home.
Oh, we need a Tina Turner version. We just need more Tina Turner in life.
Uber Eats keep on turning. My kiddies is gonna be delivered.
Oh my god.
Rolling with a tourist.
That is brilliant. If I didn't have a headset on, I'd take my hat off to you. That's about as far as it goes.
You're welcome.
Chaotic bollocks on this episode already.
Yeah.
That's what the peeps come here for.
Well, that's what I come here for.
A podcast conversation about video games.
Yeah. You
like
occasionally get
talk.
video games. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of this has been gaming talk so far, but anyway.
We talked about D&D.
We did.
So
That's tabletop gaming. Yeah, that's gaming.
Yeah, see?
I like tabletop.
Don't put
gaming.
us down, Tiggs.
I'm not. I'm being observational for a change. Okay. So, Beardy's going to return with some news on Friday. Is that correct?
It's correct,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
We're going to have Beardy's news. What sort of news are you going to have for us?
I don't know. I don't have a fucking crystal ball, do I? It's not news if I know about it before it happens.
I thought you were behind the scenes tweaking the strings. Your predictions in the group chat are generally quite on point. I think you're like Mystic Beardy. Call me now.
I'm a Jamaican now as well.
Yeah.
Call me now.
I've been listening to a lot of Drag Race today, and Priyanka did the Drag Race Canada did a Mystic, and she was like,
so funny.
"Call me now," and it's in one of those songs, and it's my favorite part of the whole song. Just that bit. I listened to it for that bit. Anyway, shall we start our topic?
Yeah.
Topic. We haven't even said what the fuck we're talking about today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm such a great host.
Well, as the host, do you want to get on and introduce it?
Yes.
What are we here for today?
Today's episode, apart from causing havoc, today's episode's title is "You Two, You're Not My Supervisor." Bitch.
I mean, that's fucking.
Yeah.
I might be. I mean, to be fair, here at Gaymers Assemble, we're a collective of queeros, so nobody is anybody's supervisor. That's true.
No, we're a collective. We're like a circle of love. Right, okay, so you're not my supervisor. We're going to talk about gaming elders, mentors, and gurus in games that sort of help you through the game, get you into your groove. And this episode is dedicated to my little grandma who passed away the other week, which is quite sad, but she was an absolutely awesome woman. And this ball of Tigger fun that you have in front of you takes most of his personality traits from that woman. So we're going to talk about the people that influence you in games. That's a good intro,
Excellent.
right?
That's good.
Yes.
Excellent.
Although
you had to break it down for me a little bit because I was super confused.
This is so funny.
Because I'm always super confused, and I'm on this new medication that just super ooper confuses me. So I was like, what do you mean, like Grandma Shirley, the gamer grandma? You know, the one on YouTube that's like, I was like, because I can only think of Grandma Shirley, and are there more gamer grandmas? Like, and I was expecting like this wide world of gamer grandmas that I was gonna like fall into.
I laughed so hard.
There might be a wide world of gamer grandmas, but you had to break it down for me. We're talking about like the people in the game that are like, you must go off and complete this quest and then come back to me and I'll show you how to use your powers. Like those like in-game mentor people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's better because I love Grandma Shirley and I still want to go out and find a tribe of gamer grandmas that are going to like mentor me to be a better gamer. That we need to do an episode on that too, I think, maybe. But for this episode, I had to find in-game mentor people to show me how to use my powers and be a better player.
Yeah, I'm sort of sad that you actually mentioned that because it would have been so funny if we got to the episode and
I was just like, Grandma Shirley!
We're here like, what game's
for
she
everything.
in? What game's that from?
So yeah,
she's in Elder Scrolls, all of them. They're bringing her in. They're making her into the next Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes,
they're bringing her in as an NPC, aren't they?
That's going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Grandma.
Okay.
I love the episodes where she just reads the books to you. She just reads the Argonian maid, and you're like, "Yay, Grandma Shirley!"
That's right up your street, though. Come on.
Maybe we should
Really
listen
is,
to
I
that
love it.
for bedtime stories.
I love it.
Get
I
into
need
Grandma
something
bed.
to
Shirley,
do
you
with
my
the sleep
heart.
at the moment.
I'm just gonna get into bed and be like, Alexa, play Grandma Shirley's bedtime stories. She'll be like, I didn't understand that.
She never understands me. I tried to get her to play London Grammar whenever I went to bed last night. Granted, anybody that's seen my Twitter will know I was quite pissed last night. For a change, just a tiny bit. Oh god, it was awful. And I woke up today and was just like, oh right, okay. But I tried to get her to play London Grammar. I had put on, tried 3 times, and I was like, right, this is drunken, this is Irish, so put on my really posh English accent. I was like, Alexa. But oh, she's gonna play it. I'm not gonna say the rest of it.
You have to mute that bitch when we go on podcast because she's always doing shenanigans.
She's muted now.
I mean,
didn't think
in
about
her
that.
defense, like, drunk Tiggs at 2 o'clock this morning going, Alexa! Like,
That accent?
I have no idea.
Did he turn Scottish?
Yeah, a little bit. London,
It's like some Glaswegian
Grandma.
guy broke into Beardy's house.
Alexa! Play London Grammar!
I get more Irish whenever I get drunk as well. Like my accent comes out way stronger. So one of my best mates for like 16 years he's known me, and he's like, whenever you're drunk, I just nod. And he goes, especially if your brother's there and you two are talking, I'm just nodding. I have no fucking clue what you're saying, and I'm like, you waited how long to tell me that? Anyway, let's get cracking. So the way this is going to work, we have 3 choices each, 2 runners up, and a win. So let's start with Lana. Ooh. Who's your first one?
Okay, so sorry, I was reacting to Bussy, who was being terrible in the chat. He said that by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, Grandma Shirley's going to be a Draugr, which is terrible.
What's a Draugr?
The undead guys that come at you in the tombs.
Oh, Pussy! Oh, you bitch! That's horrible!
Oh, shock horror.
I'm
Okay,
actually
so
quite shocked he said that.
my first one.
I think it's
my
amazing.
first
I've
one.
awarded him 5 points.
I'm sorry. 5 points to Bussy Gryffindor. So my first one, Bussy Door. I've gone sort of in order from not worst to best. I mean, yeah, sort of worst to best. I'm only putting her at worst because I haven't finished the game, and I don't know if she's worst or not. She might end up being awesome. And I have a crush on her at this point in the game. I'm kind of hoping that my character just like makes out with her at some point. We haven't made out yet. I'm holding out hope for that. There's a lot of death and destruction at this point. But like in straight horror movies, they always like take a break during the death scenes to make out. So like that's still a possibility.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Right? So I have picked Emily Pope from the game Control. I have a bit of a thing for like the slightly silver foxes.
Oh yeah.
And the short hair and the sort of authoritarian, like I might top you, I might not. Like I might be a bit of a switch. I don't know. It's late, like we don't know.
Yeah. She could
but
strangle me and I'm not gonna press charges, like
right. Like
Yeah.
we might
Wow.
switch it up. We could both take turns. I don't know what's gonna happen. But also she has all the answers to my predicament in this game, which I still haven't quite worked out what the fuck my predicament in this game is. Like I have questions, my character has questions, I have questions about my questions, but Emily seems to know the answers. So I keep going off and doing things, and then I come back and I ask Emily a question, and she's like, I'll look into that. And then I go away and I come back and she's like, I've got your answer. And then she tells me some things, then I go off and I do more stuff, and then I come back. So Emily's got the answers once I figure out what the fuck my questions are. And she's sort of teasing me with her little smiles and things. So I think we might make out at some point in the game. If anybody in the chat has finished Control, and can tell me whether I do ever get the option to make out with her. Please
I
don't ruin my expectations.
have completed control.
And did you make out with her?
She finger blasted me.
Yes! Fuck yeah.
I love that term.
Like, she was like, I'm so happy for you that you've come to the end of this journey.
Choo-choo! Director, come with me. And I'm like, yeah, director. Tuka-tuka-doo. Yeah, so I'm here for it. I am here for Emily. Emily knows, I mean, I am the director, so technically I am her mentor, I guess. Like, I'm in the power position within the hierarchy of this organization. But she has all the answers, so she's in the power position there. So we're going to go with she's my mentor guru, and I've picked her for my first round of pick.
Maybe it's like that
and
thing
also
when,
because I want to make out with her.
you know, when you get a job sometimes and like you're not entirely sure what you're doing in that job just yet, but then you've got your assistant
Job
underneath
buddy.
you who's like technically underneath you but like has a lot more knowledge and answers and everything else, and you slightly got that weird crush on them. Like maybe it's that thing.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm only like probably maybe between a third and halfway through the game, I'm guessing. But yeah, Emily's my first pick.
I'll pre-warn you now, there is a point where you think the game's ended and it hasn't.
Okay.
Oh,
Does she die? I don't want her to die.
spoilers.
I'm not going to say anything.
No spoilers.
But there's literally a point where the credits start to roll, and I was like, "Is it the end of the game?" And then it's not. Don't get upset when it happens, because I kind of wish I wish I knew that in advance, because I was like, "What? I don't even know anything yet. I've got no answers yet. Like, what is going on? The game's already ended."
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah. So that's my first pick.
Beardy. What's your first pick?
Yes. Okay,
What's your
so
first
I didn't realize we were putting them as like runners up and a winner, so I'm just quickly putting that together now. So the first one I'm going to go with...
You didn't read the show notes then.
Yeah. Is... I mean, to be fair, it does say, you're not my supervisor, top 3 elders / mentors / guru.
Oh, I might have put that in the chat and not the
Yeah.
notes. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
no.
my bad.
So the first one I'm going to go with
No, semi.
is The Watcher from Darksiders. I don't know if anybody's played it. So Darksiders is a kind of action slasher type RPG thing by THQ Nordic, based around the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Oh, cool.
So in the first game, you play as War, and War has been brought to Earth in the end times. So the end of the world's happened, the seals have been broken, hell's come up from below to destroy humanity. The angels have come down for the final war between good and evil, and the horsemen have been called upon to come and sort out this situation. However, somebody tricked the whole situation, so War and the horsemen were triggered when they shouldn't have been. And you get tasked by the Dark Council to find out what happened and make things right, because at this point now, humanity's been wiped out, and you need to try and save everything. So the Watcher is a spirit person that is attached to War, but he's one of those kind of like characters that's just a little bit nasty, but by the end of it, like, becomes one of those nasty characters that you kind of fall in love with a little bit. So like everything that War tries to do, or he tries to kind of guide him, it's always like, you know, I'll destroy you, like I'll blow you up, I'll take your life away from me, like I can hurt you, I can do all these things, but like secretly, like you're rooting for the pair of them. And he's voiced by Mark Hamill, who...
No way!
Yeah. Who's obviously the Joker and Luke Skywalker, as well as another rap sheet of fantastic performances that he's done. And his performance of the Watcher is just hilarious. So it's almost that Joker-esque kind of personality in the Watcher, of like being just pure chaos, but like you just love him for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent.
So if you've not played Darksiders, you should play it. It's pretty good. It's down that sort of road of when God of War was really big. So it's like big spectacles, like lots of hacking and slashing and power-ups and light platform puzzle solving and all those kind of things.
That's well cool.
Digital Monkey in the thing says Death, Strife, War, and Fury. Yep, so all of them have had a game now. So War was the first game. Death was the second game. I think the third game is around Strife and no, it's Fury.
That's well good.
So yeah, definitely check it out if you've not played it. They're only cheap as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is like a hybrid episode where we've also got on sale with Llama happening in the midst
Nice.
of it.
And it's
Yes.
and it's in that kind of same style of old school Warcraft games. I don't know if you ever played like the RTS Warcraft games on PC in like the mid 2000s. It's like the
Fucking love those.
same kind of art style.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Like very Warhammery.
That's very cool.
So
Very,
yeah,
very
Miss
cool.
The Watcher
those
is
games.
third.
I think my number 3 is probably the Dooku tree from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
A Zelda pick? No!
Oh,
What a
I'm
surprise! Shock horror.
Well, look, it was just a fabulous moment.
Tiggs, do you like Zelda?
Nah,
No.
not at all. No Triforce tattoo in my arm or anything at all.
Oh, I
No
thought that was a
Master
Harry
Sword.
Potter one.
Oh, the Deathly Hollows. You lie, you're winding. Alright, okay, that's grand. I didn't take the bait though. I do have a Hylian shield and a Master Sword on my wall. I know how to show the boys a good time when they come to my house. Do you want to see my Hylian shield and my Master Sword?
Nerd out. I love it. I love it.
Absolute nerd. I can't help myself. I've got keyblades in my bedroom.
Hot.
You never know when you'll need a keyblade.
Well,
Close
I
the dark
mean-
door.
You might need
and
them.
yours is a dark door that definitely needs closing from time to time.
Absolutely. I was waiting. I saw that in your face.
You see
was waiting for
the
it.
cogs are just like.
That was brilliant. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. God.
So the Deku tree.
Yes, the Dooku tree. So, in
Deku.
Ocarina, Dooku, and the
Dooku.
Dooku tree. Hang on, let me try and say it properly. The Dooku tree. Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
Posh.
Okay, so we go to see the Dooku tree. It's like your first proper level in Ocarina of Time after you collect your little sword and everything. And he's like an old tree spirit. It's where you find out about the 3 goddesses that sorted Hyrule out and get these 3 little gems. And anyway, you find out loads of story there. And he's like, right, okay, I've got an evil inside me. You have to go inside me and root out the evil. So Link, little kid Link, has to go inside this tree.
Are we playing again?
Zelda.
Okay.
It might just be my explanation.
Is this the episode where we badly explain games? What episode are we doing again?
No, this is
No.
Mentors. We are going to do an episode where we explain games badly, but this isn't it.
Yeah, but this isn't
isn't
it.
it,
Right,
no.
okay. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so we go.
There's an evil inside me. Child, please enter me and get the evil out.
Yeah,
That's where we're at now. Okay.
and Link
carry
is
on.
his little fairy, and he has to
Mhm.
defeat all these like spider things, which really freaked me out whenever I was a kid because I have a big fear of spiders. And then he learns how to like get rid of the evil, but the tree sort of teaches him. I love the Dooku tree. Plus, it was just really amazing. This tree could talk and had a face and everything. So, and he was like, "You are the hero." I was like, "Yeah, yeah."
Thank you for entering me and removing
Thank
the
you
evil
for
from
entering
inside
me.
me.
Thank you for entering me, getting your sword out, and chopping away.
Tiggs, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you spin in one direction, like so you're kind of facing sideways? Okay. Can you lean back for me? Now, tell me, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like a motherfucking hero of time.
Because I literally feel like we've just sat through a therapy session.
Like, do you need to unpack some things here? Like, I feel like there's some trauma around that.
Sorry, was that a really shit explanation?
No, it wasn't. No, we're just winding you up.
No, we're just being real dirty.
I'm actually really, really blushing. Like, it's not just this windburn from today, it's actually I'm blushing now. She
Not
made me
just your
blush.
Irish.
No, not just my Irish.
Yes. We made you feel dirty.
I did feel really dirty.
Go stand in the
Nice.
shame corner.
I've got a wireless headset now, I can't actually do that. Shall I just go and stand in the corner and do the rest of the podcast from there?
Yeah, stand over there.
Okay. So, Llama, what's your second
Pull your
pick?
trousers up.
He's
Sorry, I'm
smiling.
covered.
He's smiling.
Okay. Llama, what's your second pick?
Come sit back down.
Oh,
I'll allow
nearly
it.
died.
I'll allow it.
Oh god, we've gone way off the rails. Right, let's get back on track. Back on track.
Right. So my second pick. So again, I was trying to think of who in video games, like, who sort of sends me out on missions, and then I go do stuff, and then I come back, and like I want to come back and tell them what I've been doing and try and like help them. Because sometimes people send you out on missions, and you're like, "Fuck you, man! I don't care what you want." Like it's just,
I know.
fetch and retrieve. Fuck you. Oh. But sometimes I want to. I know. Sometimes I want to come back and see what they're doing. And one of the games where I really liked the person who was sending me out on missions, and I was coming back and like having really fucking hilarious conversations with them, was in Outer Worlds, and it was Phineas Wells. So this is the guy. So in Outer Worlds is the game where, if you haven't played it, I think it's still free on Game Pass, so fucking go play it. It's hilarious. Capitalism basically has run rampant. It takes place in an alternate timeline, and the timeline split basically in like 1901 in the U.S. So basically, they never changed the laws to break up big corporations. So there's no anti-monopoly laws in the U.S. Is the main difference. So corporations become this huge giant thing. And how does the world operate in that alternate reality? And apparently how the world operates is these 4 or 5 giant corporations take over the fucking planet and go off and decide to explore the universe. And these corporations send out these ships that go out and explore the outer regions of the universe. And they send out these like arcs where people have to go to sleep, and these little hyperdrive things, they go to sleep, and then they're supposed to wake up after a couple of years and like go start colonizing, but they're basically like slaves, like indentured servants, which is basically like the nice way of saying you're fucking slaves, bitches. That's the white people way of saying it.
We own you.
We own you. And they're basically working for the corporations. And they're supposed to wake up after a certain number of years and go do their work on these new planets and colonize. And what happens is the first ship that goes out there gets lost and is never found. And this guy, Phineas Wells, is a mad scientist, and he's based on the scientist from Rick and Morty.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like fucking mental,
cool.
right? Just fucking mental, and I love it. And he comes up with a way. He finds the ship. And he comes up with a way to wake up the colonists. But he's only got enough of his like magic wake up juice to wake up one of the colonists. So he wakes up you, and you get to pick what you look like and what your little stats are and whatever. And
sorry, quick question.
Yeah.
How long did you spend in character creation in this game? Because you're like
fucking
me.
Ever. For like a whole day. A whole day. I spent a whole day in character creation. And then really annoyingly, you play in first person, so you never get to see yourself.
I hate that.
That's like the ultimate fuck you. You
I
spent
was
hours.
so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad about that. So he wakes you up, and the board, so the chairman, the boards of all of these 4 companies, like Spacer's Choice and Auntie Cleo's and all of these big companies, they don't want to wake up these colonists, because these colonists are like the best and the brightest, right? They're like the scientists and the engineers and everybody that can actually like make a good society. So they want the ship to stay lost. They actually know where the fuck it is. They don't want any of these people woke up. So they told Phineas to fuck off, stay the fuck away, and your job is to try and find enough of this wake-up juice to wake up the rest of the colonists. So he's like woke you up, broke you the fuck out of that ship, and you're collecting your crew and trying to like find enough wake-up juice and disrupt the board and like free all these other like indentured servants. And basically fuck up the board's day while you're doing it. And it's just basically anarchist, and you're shutting down capitalism along the way, which, if anybody knows me, knows that I'm a super lefty-leaning liberal snowflake, and I fucking love this game for that. I was all over it. I was like, capitalism, burn it! And they're like, yeah, let's do it! And it was great. So every time I would go do my missions, and I'd come back to Phineas in his little secret lair that he had, it was great. The conversations were absolutely on point. The game is developed by who are the people that did New Vegas? Yes,
Obsidian Entertainment.
So like the fucking dialogue is amazing, and it was just ridiculous. Some of the shit that we were saying, and some of the dialogue options, and he has a pet pig. Like they're called cysty pigs. Like they breed them and eat them, and they're ridiculously grotesque looking things. And he has a pet cysty pig, and you like can pet it, and it runs around, and like it's just fucking ridiculous. But I liked Phineas, and you would have these crazy conversations with him, and he would give you more like little nuggets of information. You'd go around and do things, and then in the end of the game, he gets kidnapped, and you have to rescue him, and then you go and like take down the whole board. And I loved the game itself is fucking amazing. The dialogue is amazing. The gameplay is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not perfect. It's pretty good. But just like 27.5 stars out of 10, right? Like it's a good game.
Wow.
So Phineas Wells, I love him. He's a good guru mentor guy in the game. I liked him. And his pig.
He sounds awesome.
He's pretty funny, and he's definitely funny. You can tell when you're playing him. You can see the Rick and Morty influence, and also like the Doc Brown from Back to the Future. I was just about to say
Doc Brown from Back to the Future is also like.
It's so like it's very much mad scientist vibes, and just that sort of crazy dialogue tree, just random shit, and you're like, what?
what the fuck is going on here?
Well, I don't understand, but let's roll with it. It's fine. It's brilliant. I love it. Great game. On sale with Llama. It's on Game Pass. Go play it.
Awesome.
It might still be on Game Pass. It was definitely on there for fucking ages.
I think it's on there still because it's a Microsoft-owned game, isn't it? So
right. Yeah. So it'll be on
there. Oh, Beauty's doing the research thing. Look, I can see him typing.
Somebody's got to do it because I didn't fuck all.
I wish I had you at work, Beauty. You'd be so useful. But like, just research that for me.
Beauty, can you come be my assistant at work when I have to be an adult?
Yeah, just let me know. I'm available.
Yes, imagine. Guys, I've decided I need a PA. I've got the perfect person.
Oh, yes. I'll be like, can we pay? Like, we can. I've brought in a PA.
Yep. The Outer Worlds is available on Game Pass for PC and console.
Fucking great game. Fucking great game. And it's got Parvati, great asexual representation.
Awesome. Beauty, you're up next.
So, my runner-up for this is... So it's going to be the first of 2 Star Wars characters, because obvs.
Obs.
So my first one is...
Do you like Star Wars?
No. Really?
Mm-mm.
I'd never guessed.
No.
Mm-mm.
I thought you hated Star Wars.
I have no idea where you might get that from. No idea whatsoever.
5,000 bits of memorabilia behind him.
No idea where you would get that from. I'm just going to take a little shot just to like... take.
Oh my god, right. For those of you listening and not watching, Beauty has just flashed his Star Wars t-shirt. He's wearing a beanie, and I didn't realise that it is a Star Wars beanie. He's got a Star Wars shot glass, and now he's leaning back so we can see all his paraphernalia.
Star Wars poster, his Star Wars stabby thing. What's the word?
Lightsaber.
That's the one.
Oh, Anna, what? You said stabby thing?
This meds, man. They're killing me.
You should know about lightsabers. They sound like vibrators.
I do. The words. That's the words. Have you seen that webcomic where they mix up the lightsaber and the vibrator?
No, please send me a link. Please send me a link.
It ended badly.
Spoiler alert. A hospital is involved.
Sorry, we went on a
Bleeding.
tangent again.
Oh, Beardy's
so-
got a needy boy too.
So the first
Oh,
Star Wars character is gonna. This is Ollie, everybody. Is gonna be
Ollie.
Sia Junda, who is your mentor in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So if you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, you play as Cal Kestis, who is a survivor of Order 66. He's a Padawan who's been in hiding, and he's been working on a scrapping planet. And basically the Inquisitors have been sent out by Vader, who is his kind of like assassins and hunters for the remainders and survivors of the 66, which is the order that killed all the Jedi, blah, blah, blah. So he's hiding out, his friend nearly dies, and he uses the Force to save him, which caused the Inquisitors to come. Long story short, Sia turns up, takes him away, and she sends him on a mission to find a holocron, which contains all the names of the Force-sensitive children in the galaxy that they knew about before the Empire rose, so they're going to try and start the Jedi Order again and everything else. The reason I find her really interesting as a mentor is how the character portrays her PTSD from the situation. So,
cool.
it's not really something that's been covered in Star Wars, and both her and Cal have this kind of PTSD to what happened. Cal was there, he was only young when his master was murdered in front of him by the clones. He carries the scars from it, both physically and emotionally. And Sia has the same thing. She tried to save as many Padawans as she could, but couldn't. And they captured her and tortured her, and she cracked and told Vader and the Inquisitorius where these Padawans were hiding. So then she has this guilt of giving up the location. These Padawans get taken in. And it turns out, spoiler alert, that one of the Padawans that she lost, her main Padawan, is the second sister, who's the main protagonist of the game that's chasing you down. And it turns out that when Sia was broken by the Inquisitorius, she turned to the dark side because she saw what they did to her Padawan, and she escapes and uses the dark side, so she cuts herself off because she has all this trauma and everything else. But it's just a really interesting situation to see, like, because in the films and everything else, it's almost like, well, this horrible thing happened, but like the Jedi survived and everyone's just getting on with their lives and everything else. They've never really shown that side of things where it actually really affected people in that universe. Like, imagine hundreds of thousands of people just being slaughtered by people that they thought were there to protect them, and the consequence of the war and everything else. So she sends you out on these missions to find this holocron, but in every step, she's trying to teach Cal the ways of the Force and what it means to be a Jedi and everything else. But at the same time, she's fighting with her own demons because she knows she feels like if she opens the door back to her Force sensitivity, then the dark side's just going to come and take her again. So she's also struggling with her own like emotions and feelings towards being a Jedi and what happened and everything else. A really good story.
That sounds amazing.
And who's she acted out? She's also one of the very few POCs when it comes to Star Wars and Jedis. So Google came up and was like, as I'm typing Sia Junda, was like, care homes in Manchester. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm typing. I didn't spell this wrong. Like, so she's played by Deborah Wilson.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Who's a really good actress and has been in quite a few things. So she was in. Hi. She was in That's So Raven, I'm With Her, Without a Trace, CSI,
Oh,
90210.
I used to fucking love that show.
Doom Patrol, Just Roll With It. Yeah, she's been in loads of stuff and loads of films as well. I'll
That's
definitely
cool.
check it out.
That's really cool. Good choice. Good choice. My second one, my runner-up, you might have to help me with the pronunciation because we all know what I'm like, is Miramir?
Mimir.
Mimir from God of War. I need to get you to help.
My
Yeah.
second runner-up is
Yeah, Mimir from God of War. So I think we all know about God of War, but for those of you that have been hiding under a rock for the last however many years, you play as Kratos and his son.
It's Kratos.
You see, names me don't. Kratos and his son, who he calls all the time, boy.
Boy.
Is it wrong that that's slightly arousing whenever he does that? Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Tiggs,
not
because he's talking to his son.
no, not like
After
that.
the tree thing, now I'm worried.
Yeah.
No, not like that. Like, could you imagine being out in like a little trip with Kratos and them just going to you, boy? And I'd be like, yes, Daddy. What would you like me to do?
Tiggs, just turn to one side for me.
Just lean back.
Lean back. So, how does that make you feel?
Well, Kratos is big and strong, and it's like he could protect me.
Do you feel like you need protecting, Tiggs?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's what Jurix is for.
And this is where we get cancelled.
I'm sorry, I've lost it. It just one second.
While
We
you're
got another
gathering,
show called Therapy with Beardy.
While you're regaining some semblance of composure, Pussycat Tycoon in the chat says, "I feel bad for Mimir. I bet Kratos was farting like fuck."
So, whenever you encounter Mimir, he's like attached to like a tree, because he was a little bit naughty, Mimir, and he's sort of his punishment was being put on top of this tree and top of this mountain, and he has to cut off his head, but the disembodied head keeps talking like it's still alive, and he attaches it to his belt. So whenever they're walking around, Mimir's like right at Kratos' ass.
It is pretty funny.
He is so funny, and he knows all the lore of the land and everything, and it's really, really cool because whenever you get out in your boat, because everywhere's flooded, whenever you get out in your boat and you just like sort of, doing your little row your boat thing, Mimir comes up with different stories, so you get to find out all this different lore about like the backdrop of the gods and all this sort of thing, and then whenever you go anywhere, like into new areas of that, like they often ask him what. Like he tells you all stuff about the areas, and plus he is so funny. Who voiced him? Hang on, let me just check who voiced him, because the voice actor was really good. And it just had me in absolute kinks laughing.
Alistair Duncan.
Yeah, bloody brilliant. Honestly, he had a Scottish accent, didn't he?
Mm.
And it was just so funny. It just reminded me of Billy Connolly a bit, really. And he was so wisecracky as well.
Connolly.
He's so wisecracky though, so it was like having like Billy Connolly in a game. It was so good. So good. I did not expect that game to be so like jokey.
I think it's one of those things where it needed that kind of comic relief because everything that was going on in the game was so heavy in terms of its story and the lore of the Viking gods and stuff anyway are very heavy in their lore and what happened and the troubles they go through. It's a very bloody religion.
It is.
So
yeah,
I think without those kind of jokes from Amir and everything else, it would be very very one note, especially with Kratos and how his relationship develops with Atreus. If you didn't have that kind of like injection of comedy, like I think it wouldn't be the same game.
Yeah, Kratos
Bit
needed
too
to take a
much.
fucking chill pill. Like, he was seriously on Atreus all the time. Boy, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Jesus, dude, leave him alone. He's 12. He's kicking ass. He really does kick ass, though. Really good.
He's really good.
Like, he's brilliant. I powered him right up at the start because I was like, oh, yeah, let's power up the support just in case I die. I did die quite frequently. So I powered up the support. Okie doke. Right, we're down to the final one. The final countdown to learning. The final countdown. We're a bit music podcast as well, aren't we, really?
I mean, I wouldn't go that
I mean,
far.
we're an ensemble cast, to be fair. We are multi-talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our skills know no bounds.
Well, if you see my video singing last night, my skills know some bounds. The dogs around the area were howling.
So does my audio threshold.
Did we just peek out your audio?
Well, the speakers on my phone don't quite work the same since I played Tig's videos earlier. Bit crackly.
It was Cher.
A little bit pitchy.
All here, Cher. Right, Llama, who's your winner?
Well, I mean, anyone who has followed this podcast for more than 5 minutes knows that my winner is always going to be probably Mass Effect or Fallout, really. So when it comes
Really, you like
to
those games?
my favorite in-game guru, yeah, I mean they're all right. They're all right. But the winner for me has got to be Captain David Edward Anderson from Mass Effect. Woo!
Woo!
I mean, he's like the father figure that my femshep needed in life. Because, you know, he starts off the game. I mean, he gets a prequel, first of all. Like the games are so amazing that he gets prequels in the books. They brought out the books, and then he gets his own prequel stories.
That's
too,
awesome.
by the way. And then in the games, he's like, "You're so amazing. I'm gonna promote you." He then gets named to the council and gives her his ship, giving you the chance to like become the N7 like badass that you are. And then you go and you're like, fuck, there's Reapers out there, and the Reapers are gonna eat all of us in the whole goddamn galaxy. And everybody's like, bitch, there ain't no Reapers. Reapers? The fuck is Reapers? And it's only Captain Anderson that's like, shit, Reapers? For real, girl? I believe you. And everyone else is like, there ain't no fucking Reapers. And Anderson's like, bitch, she said there's Reapers. There's Reapers. Believe my girl. So Anderson's always got your back. Anderson's always got your back. And as you go throughout the series and shit gets more and more real, he's constantly got you. And even though he hates being a counselor, he hates being a politician, and he really wants to be out on the ship with you on the front lines, fighting evil and Reapers, and helping people. He does what he can to run interference between you and the council and the other politicians who are like, Reapers ain't no thing but Reapers. And you're like, bitch,
Silly
here is a Reaper. Like, here's the Reaper.
Brilliant.
The council's like, don't be so stupid. You're such a primitive species. You've only been part of the known universe for the last 25 years. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as Reapers.
No such thing as Reapers. Don't look over here.
Look over there.
Look over there.
Actually.
Yeah. So I like him, even though, you know, it's not like he's specifically the one giving you missions, but he is the one that's giving you advice as you go throughout all of these.
He is really awesome. Like, I really loved him whenever I played Mass Effect.
So amazing.
Yeah.
And as you go through the storyline, and you, again, you know, you were talking about PTSD earlier, and it's something that unfortunately I know about firsthand, and through shit in my life. one of the reasons that I liked Mass Effect was because as Shepard goes through all the trauma of like the shit in the story, because like some heavy shit happens in the story, like Shepard doesn't just like shrug it off like, you know, like the Doom Soldier does, and it's like, whatever, we're just gonna keep shoving our fist up demons' assholes. You know, Shepard's like, shit, like starts imagining like little invisible children who are running around and like dude like rubbing his face and all their like failures and things. Like Shepard starts having PTSD and flashbacks and intrusive thoughts and like all the classic symptoms of PTSD, which is something that at that point, I mean, this game came out, Mass Effect 3, when you start really seeing the PTSD side of things, came out in like 2015, 2016, something like that. Verity will look it up. I don't need to know. I see him typing.
Fly, my pretty fly.
Fly! You know, so it came out at a time where I hadn't seen another game do that.
Mass Effect 3 released on the 6th of March, 2012.
2012,
wow.
right? So like Mayan calendars were telling us the end of the world was nigh. No, they weren't. That's some racist bullshit. But you know, like it was a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
In a galaxy far, far away. And while all of that was happening, she was going to Anderson and saying like, look, I'm struggling with some shit. And Anderson again had her back. And even at the very end, when she's in the final Reaper fight, it's Anderson that's there with her. And in that final moment, you see that sort of story arc where it's like he went from being her boss to her mentor to the father figure to the friend. And then, you know, and then the terrible 3-colored ending comes out, and we were not going to talk about that because it's a fucking sacrilege. But in that final moment right before that, where they're sort of sitting there watching the battle that's taking place below them, and they're sort of, you know, sitting next to each other, reminiscing for a moment. It's a really beautiful moment because you see that sort of whole loop happening with those two characters. I'm not going to lie, even now, if I play that scene again, just play the scene itself without having to play the whole game. But if I play the whole game, definitely, I'll still cry. I'll shed a little tear because, like, that whole relationship is such a beautiful thing, and you know, the devs and the storytelling up until that point is so spot on. They've really built that up, and I think when you discuss this as, you know, when you propose this as a topic, that was the first one that came to mind, and I was like, shit, now I gotta find 2 more.
Excellent.
If I can't have Grandma Shirley, I'm gonna have David Anderson and 2 more.
That is absolutely brilliant. That's so true. It was awesome. Yeah. And for any of you people that are listening or watching this podcast and you have not played Mass Effect is coming to PS4 and Xbox One Series on May the
14th.
13th? 14th?
Take the whole month of May off, get the Legendary Edition, and play all of it again.
I booked a week off at the end of May, so I'm like, I might just get Mass Effect and have a little week of Mass Effect.
I haven't told my wife yet that I'm doing that, but I'm totally doing that.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. We should play it at the same time.
I'm so happy because it comes out on the 14th of May, and I go back to work on the 17th of May.
Oh, excellent.
It's a lot of Mass Effect to pack into 72 hours.
It's going to be done, though.
I mean, you drink a lot of Monster, you can do it.
Because
I just see Beardy streaming the whole thing and not sleeping for 72 hours, and then just being sat there like this.
It's like crawling into work.
It's
on the first day.
3 days, so that's one day a game. 1 game a day.
What is the playtime of those, though?
60 hours.
Something like
yeah,
that.
I was thinking, I was like, hang on, I've not beat any of them games really quick. Well, to be fair, I haven't beat any game really quick.
Yeah, true.
I take my time. I always say I'm going to take a different route, maybe do different options, but I always do the same fucking thing.
Which is? Grief?
Kill Caden.
Oh, yeah. No,
deck that reporter straight in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Someone did say online that they managed to keep Caden and Ashley alive, and I don't know how the fuck they did that. I don't think I could deal with both of them.
That's the most horrific choice that you have to make in a game, though. Like someone is
Not
going to
really.
die.
Caden's like, leave me behind. I'm old, and I'm telling you, leave me behind. And I'm like, all right, bye, bitch.
If it's okay with you, then fine.
I'm leaving. Bye.
No,
And then
no,
it turned
I
out Ashley was a
kept-
xenophobic little bitch, and she's like, I don't even like aliens. They shouldn't even be here. And I'm like, I don't like you.
I made the right choice. I kept Caden, and then Caden and Shepard.
Ew. I had
Yeah.
a femshep, and I was gay all the way, bitch.
Well, so was
I
I.
didn't want Caden.
Mine was Sausage Fest, and the most awkward romantic sex scene I have ever seen
Mm.
in any game in my life. It was horrific, and I was like,
I mean,
they get together. I was so excited, and I thought it was all going to be very lovely, and it was basically just like a grinder mate.
oh.
And I was like, well, you've been through all of this together. You should have been more lovey-dovey.
Yeah, but in the early 2010s, a video game graphical stuff like, getting two characters to get down and dirty with each other wasn't the most impressive feat of coding back then, was it? It was all
I mean,
just a
the
little
Liara to Sony one, they just sort of got on top of each other and were like, oh, you're so hot. No, you're so hot. And then her eyes turned black and they were like, we're mind melding. Oh! And that was really about it. Because they don't actually touch, they don't touch, do they? They're
Is
like,
that what you do?
I mind meld with everybody.
I mean,
How I do it. Is that not how you do it?
That's exactly how I do it, yeah.
to
Yeah.
be fair, after this fucking lockdown, it'd be the way that I do it as well.
Do you know, I keep thinking about what's that movie with Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone where they're in the future and they have the 3 seashells and they're like, be well, John. And fucking, what the fuck movie is that? Someone will say it in the chat, but my chat stopped working.
What? Right. So who's it got in it? Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes. They're in the future. They don't swear anymore. They don't wipe their ass with toilet paper. They use the 3 seashells.
No, not human centipede buzzing. Demolition Man?
Demolition Man!
Digital Monk. I've not seen Demolition Man, right? And it's
Yeah, so Demolition Man takes place in the future. And whenever there hasn't been a crime in forever. And I forgot where I was going with this. But anyway, I had a point and it was super good. So just take that on board.
Put it on my watch list.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. We'll watch it tonight and give you a review, Llama, tomorrow, me and Beardy.
Yeah, basically it takes place in the future after a load of pandemics. So it takes place after a load of pandemics and they don't touch anymore and they don't have sex. Oh, and they all do virtual reality sex. That's where I was going with it. Right. So they put on these little things and they do like mind meldy sex. And they don't shake hands, they all do like that.
Shit.
No, she just puts this thing on her head and she's like, we're doing sex, come on. And then he's like, we'll do sex the right way. That's my Sylvester Stallone. It's not very good.
Okay, I'm going to watch it tonight. I need a film to watch tonight, so you've just fixed that problem for me, so thanks.
Demolition Man is funny. It's got like 8,000 one-liner quotes in it that my wife and I still shout at each other today.
Oh, yes! I am going to be so popular tomorrow at work and all the meetings. The rest are coming out of Demolition Man one-liners. I love it, stepping a good one-liner.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Beardy, who's your winner?
So my winner, this little lady, is from Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2, The Sith Lords, and it is Kreia, aka Darth Treya. So I don't know if you played it, but Obsidian made this game, obviously, because they're great game makers. And Kreia / Treya. So Darth Treya, a little bit of backstory. Her name comes from the word betrayal. So she was a Jedi historian on Dantooine and was looking through the records and everything else. Discovers that there's more to the Force than just the light side of things, and she wants to look down the side of the dark side and all those kind of things. She also was the last person to be Darth Revan's master before he went off to the Mandalorian Wars and became Dark Lord of the Sith and brought the Sith Empire back to start a civil war in the galaxy. So the Jedi Council blamed Kreia for her teachings and said that that's what led Revan down the dark side and made him go evil and everything else. So they cut her off from the Force, like they ship her out, put her into exile, and leave her to it, sort of thing. She goes to find Revan to get answers to this, to find out, was it her fault? Why did he go to the dark side? Was it something she did, something she said, all those kind of things? And comes across teachings of the dark side. She comes to the Trace Academy, which is like an old Sith academy on Malachor 5. And on those journeys trying to find these answers and everything else, she comes across two other Sith Lords. One's called Darth Nihilus, and the other one's called Darth Scion. Nihilus is a void in the Force, so he was on Malachor 5 when this mass shadow generator went off and blew the whole planet up, basically. Killed all the Jedi and all the Mandalorians and everything else on there, but he didn't die. Instead, he ended up absorbing the life essence of all the people that died to keep himself alive. And then becomes this wound in the Force, so he loses physical form, his like whole spirit and persona is trapped with his robes, and now is a plague upon the galaxy, just feeding on life force and force and everything else. Darth Scion is a Sith Lord who's so angry he refuses to die. So he's, every time he gets killed, his pure hatred for the Jedi brings him back to life. And the three of them create the Sith Triumphant. So the three of them are going to try and bring down the galaxy because Kreia wants revenge against the Jedi for exiling her and everything else. But the two other Sith Lords end up betraying her and try to kill her, cut her off the Force, and send her to one side. So she has like a really bad backstory. Your character comes into it as an exile of the war and all the rest of it. And basically, Kreia latches onto you and creates a bond with you, and she tries to teach you that the light side isn't everything and the dark side isn't everything either. Like, the Jedi and the Sith are polar opposites, but it's the bit in the middle that is the important part. It's finding that balance between the two, and understanding that each person's actions have equal consequence. So if the really perfect example is when you go to Nar Shaddaa and this beggar comes up to you and asks you for money, and your options are to kill him or threaten him, or to give him some money and then he'll go off. And if you give him the money, the guy goes away and she says, why did you do that? Like, you're giving something to him that he hasn't earned, and therefore that small action is going to send a ripple out into the Force and attract something to come to him. So that this, as the character goes off, she's telling you all this, the guy gets mugged. So it's like, even though you did the right thing, it still had a negative consequence because you gave him something that he shouldn't have had, and that attracted the attention of people that were also desperate for money, and therefore caused him to get mugged.
That is super cool.
If you choose the option to threaten him, he goes away, and because you've pissed him off and upset him, he murders somebody. So she says, like, even though you gave into your darkness and you were cruel to him, he's only going to pass that cruelty on to somebody else. So, like, although it made you feel good and powerful, that small comment and an action that you've taken has caused pain for so many other different people. So she's basically saying to you, like, the Jedi think they're all good and powerful, but every good action that they take still has negative consequence, whereas the Sith think that they can use power and influence and everything else and the dark side to rule, but that still has consequences in the negative. So either way, both the Jedi and the Sith are hurting the universe, and her ultimate goal is to rid the universe of the Force. So she wants to use your character as the exile to destroy the Force and cut everybody off from it, because she's come to this realization that the Force is no good to anybody, because there will always be people that try and use it to bend for their own will, whether that be light side or dark side. So the whole story of KOTOR 2 is that subversion of expectation that they tried to do with The Last Jedi and completely fucked it up. They did it really well, and she's such a wonderful, complex character. Like in the way you get into her storylines and her threads and everything else, is she's just playing this huge game of chess, and she doesn't care like who's good, who's evil, or anything like that. She just wants to make sure that you understand that everything around you is your pawns and your pieces to get to a certain end, but every decision that you make, it doesn't matter. You can try and call yourself good, or you can try and call yourself evil. It all amounts to the same thing if you're not being calculated about it and realizing that that good choice that you made is still going to have a negative consequence, or that point where you let yourself go to the dark side still had lasting effects on everything else. Like it's like this butterfly effect with the Force, that every action that you take with the Force will then create more actions in that Force.
That's awesome.
That's just blown my mind.
Yeah, there's about a 2-hour documentary on Netflix, on YouTube, that goes really deep into Krea's story and her thought process and her philosophy and everything else. So she's like almost like a grey Jedi that tries to be in the middle of balance, but like all these different things that happen to her ultimately just comes back to her own name of betrayal. So she feels like, in its essence, the Force betrayed her because she tried to do the Jedi thing and it backfired on her, and she tried to take revenge and be a Sith, and that backfired on her. So she's a really good, complex character, and I definitely suggest you play the game and watch that documentary.
That's awesome. Well, just out of curiosity, that thing with the beggar, what was was there secret option number 3? That didn't result in them murdering anybody, or
no, there was no option 3 because it was that story point that was trying to prove Krea's point of like either action that you took had its consequences.
That's crazy. That's
yeah,
really cool.
It's really cool because, again, it's going like back to Tia Junda's character of falling to the dark side and having this PTSD and not really seeing that side of things before. We'd never really seen a character like Kreia in the Star Wars universe, where, the actions and stuff that she took were based on horrible things happening to her, and like, not being this beacon of light or the Jedi or this beacon of darkness. Because again, we always think of like the Jedi as the good and the nice side of things. They help people. They put their own lives on a back burner to make sure that the mass people around the universe are protected and safe and live very zen and balanced lives. But like, you don't think about the actions of, if they go to a planet and help a certain group of people that are struggling, there's probably other people on that planet that aren't going to go get that help and therefore suffer more because the Jedi put their attention on one thing rather than spreading that out to the planet. And the same with the Sith. Like, you look at the Sith being all powerful and conquering and everything else, but like, in giving into those dark side temptations, like, it's not just that one instance that it affects, because just like with anything, if you bully somebody, like, it's probably, if somebody's being bullied, it's probably because that person's got deep-rooted insecurities themselves, and therefore they're passing that on to somebody else. Yeah, it's that projection side of things. So, just like, I mean, you've seen it loads in TV shows and stuff where you get the bully guy, and it turns out that he's getting beaten by his dad, or that, like, it's just really interesting because we'd never seen it in Star Wars before. Digimon points out as well, you can download them on your phones as well.
Very cool.
Go for the game.
Ooh.
And Chubbrington said not to watch Demolition Man because it's awful.
Not to watch which one?
Demolition Man.
Ah! No, I love it.
It wind you up.
It is a terrible, terrible piece of cinema. I will not lie. Wesley Snipes will never get an Oscar for his performance.
I don't care.
Honestly, no one's going to get an Oscar for their performance in this, but it is full of hilarious one-liners. diners.
That
I
sounds
mean,
brilliant.
there's been restaurant wars, and now Taco Bell is the only restaurant you can go to, and it's like where you go for fancy nights out. Like it's fucking hilarious. I love it. And now after the pandemics, watching it just made it even better for me. I love it.
Oh, I tell you where I'm going to go after the pandemic. I have been,
Nando's.
no, but close. Wagamama's, still chicken. I'm
Oh,
going for chicken katsu curry.
oh, they do the best because I'm a
They really
vegetarian. They do
do.
the best vegan chicken katsu.
Oh, it's yaki katsu curry or something with the
Yeah, they do
vegetables.
the seitan one. Oh, so good.
Mmm. On my
We're not
mouth.
sponsored by Wagamama's, but we could be if
What
you
we
want.
could be. I don't know. Who would you prefer, Wagamama's or Love Honey?
Both. I
Yeah.
could pleasure myself all over.
Okay. Really wasn't
Feed
expecting
me, pleasure me.
Speaking of pleasuring all over, who's your number one, Tiggs?
my number one. I slipped in one other honourable mention. I don't know if you saw the unit. Rost from Zero Dawn, because he's really good daddy character and really looks after you. But the overall winner is Tursa, one of the matriarchs from Horizon
Oh,
Zero
yeah.
Dawn. Yep,
Oh,
we've
okay.
talked about the We've talked about this game a lot on this podcast because I fucking love Aloy. And if I was straight, Aloy would be my wife.
You'd have to ask her first, I think.
And also manifest her in a physical form, not a digital form. But yeah, sure.
Also,
Yeah.
that, yeah.
But no, well, do you know who she reminds me on? Do you know the girl from Game of Thrones, Ygritte?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
You know nothing, Jon Snow. She reminds me of her.
Egret. I
And
fucking
she's
sobbed. Is she on my shirt? I haven't got Egret on my shirt.
she was like
God
one of my
damn it.
favorite characters in Game of Thrones. I loved her. Oh my god, you're
I
gonna
sobbed
love
when that little
Aloy.
fucker kid shot her.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
did as well. Totally did. But you're gonna love Aloy whenever you play Horizon because she reminds me so much on it, and the witty dialogue and everything. But basically, what happens is in Horizon, for those of you that don't know or haven't heard us talk about it, it's a post-apocalyptic world. You're a little kid. You're given to this guy Ross. Like it's sort of de-evolved back to like tribal sort of setup where there's all these different tribes in all different areas of the world. And your tribe is like this really sort of super religious, sort of crazy tribe that if you do like something not nice, you get exiled. So, and Aloy was exiled from baby and she was given to Ross to look after, but it was Tursa that protected Aloy and give her to Ross. Like other people just wanted to like sort of I don't know. I sort of got the impression that they wanted to get rid of her, like
I
properly.
feel like if Tears hadn't stepped in and given her to Ross, they would have killed her.
Yes.
They'd have murdered the
So
baby.
they were and Tursa steps in, and she is just this kick-ass elder, and she is an elder as well. She's an older lady. She's really just like, and everybody else lives in fear, whereas she's sort of a bit more forward thinking. So Aloy starts to like, she gets her little focus, and she starts to understand things before she goes out into the world. And people are getting really like sort of scared of her and that sort of thing. But Aloy saves everybody, and then Tursa is like, right, we're going to make you a seeker. Ross dies. I cried. He was so handsome and so good. But yeah, he dies. I cried. And then Tursa. Sorry, look, men in video games that are really good are like the men you'd like to meet in real life. That's all I've got to say. So, and then Tursa steps in. She makes Aloy a seeker when everybody else is like, "What the hell's going on? You can't look after this outcast." Blah 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 blah. And Aloy did nothing. Like she just appeared in a sacred place, and people were afraid of her. Like that was what her
Say
sin
like
was.
what did she? Is that what she just like turned up and they're like, "Ew, baby in the bush, kill it."
So
Yeah, base.
So the matriarchs, there's 3 of them, and they reside
Yep.
over Mother's Womb. which is
Llama's face.
yeah. So, Mother's, I think it's Mother's Hold or Mother's
There's
Grace
what?
or something. So the area that they reside in is known as Mother's something. Embrace, I think it is.
Mother's embrace.
So their whole religious philosophy is based around the All Mother, which is, without giving too many spoilers away, it's where they originated from once what happened. But in where the mother's womb is, there's a machine that is broken, like trying to break into this area, and they call that the Metal Devil. So when Aloy appears, they take it as a sign that it came from the Metal Devil rather than All Mother, and they see her as an omen and something that shouldn't be trusted and be killed and thrown away and everything else, because they feel like it's a sign of the end times, like she's going to bring round this age of apocalypse again, and people are going to die and all those kind of things.
Yep.
Is she a robot baby?
No. She's a human baby.
Llama, we're not going to spoil it for you because it is phenomenal, and you're going to love her. And I cannot wait
don't
to
have a
get
PlayStation.
you're getting the PS5, and it's on the back catalogue, girl.
It is on the back catalog, but it's probably after all the building work happens, which is going to take a while.
I managed to bag a PS5.
What are you doing in the PS4?
It's in my bedroom. I moved my other TV up to my bedroom, so I now have a TV in my bedroom for the first time in years.
You should
nice.
Should ship your PlayStation off to Llama so she can play Horizon.
No.
We're going to get you a PS5, Llama.
My God.
You need to join the club.
I don't have time. I was talking to somebody today, and they were like, "Oh, what were they saying?" They were asking if I'd finished Witcher 3 yet. How long has Witcher 3 been out? Like 500 years? I haven't finished Witcher 3 yet because I'm either working on my day job or working on my audiobooks or working on my charity job or doing podcasts or doing DIY around the house or just like sleeping. Sometimes I sleep.
Sometimes.
Or playing video games. Like sometimes I get to play video games.
It's been out 6 years.
Right? Like I don't have time for another video game system. And then I bought the Oculus Quest, and now I play Beat Saber sometimes, and I don't have time for another thing.
Oh, you need to do it. You need to do it. This nicely brings us on to what you playing.
Wait. Before we get into that, right? All you need to do, Llama, is get a 7-day. I think it's a 1 month actually, a 1 month free trial to PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Because you can play PlayStation Now on your computer, which is Sony's version of
Game Pass.
No, of Stadia. And I'm pretty sure Horizon Zero Dawn is on PlayStation. I'm gonna have a look.
My computer that crashed every time we tried to play Phasmophobia.
Yeah, but it's streamed. It's like Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to install the game or anything like that.
Because although it was funny that every time I loaded in, my character was like half twerked and just slid around the truck for a little while until I crashed. It wasn't actually very good for catching ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
It's like, crash.
Games are on.
I don't remember what my PlayStation Now login name was.
Just create a new one. You know?
I think it was back in my Tank Girl days. I think it was Tank Girl.
Oh, I love Tank Girl. She is amazing.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is on PlayStation Now. So that's how you could play PlayStation games.
Yes.
There you go. I could do that.
Oh, Digital Monks asked, who's your favourite sidekick in the game?
Oh, I feel like that's a whole other episode.
I think, should we do that for the next episode? Who's your next?
Yeah.
Who's your favourite sidekick? Let me just make a note of that, and we'll do
Um,
that as the next episode.
Lama, they currently have a 7-day free trial for PlayStation Now, and then it's $8.99 a month after that, or $49.99 for a full year.
Fuck, my wife will notice if I spend $49.99, but she might not notice $8.99 if it goes out.
So if you get a 7-day free trial and an $8.99, that's 5 weeks for you to complete Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes. It is phenomenal. It's so good.
And if I play it on the computer, I'll just tell her I'm up here working. She never comes up here to check on me.
Done.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's not like I have to hide from her. If I just told her I was up here gaming, she'd be fine with it. Need to go through all these hoops.
Please, ma'am. May I go?
Just makes it more fun if I feel like I'm sneaking.
Oh, I don't have any of that experience. I mean, I sneak away from these two sometimes. Oh my god, they've gone crazy now. I can see the look of wildness in their eyes. We're about
See,
to
they've
have...
knocked over the cat scratcher and everything. They've been like playing with their little toys behind you, just knocking them the fuck around.
Yeah, they go mental. I mean, seriously, you thought you live in a house with 2 elephants. That's all you hear going up and down the stairs and chasing each other. Then kitty boxing. Kitty boxing is like one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in my life.
I picked up the TV remote this morning when I came downstairs. And my wife had made me a loving cup of coffee. And I sat down on the sofa with my loving cup of coffee. And I picked up the TV remote to turn on the telly and watch my YouTube news. And the remote was wet.
Uh-oh.
And I looked at it, and it was covered in fucking cat vomit.
Oh, that's the worst. The absolute
cats.
worst. Yeah.
It's like they always find something. Like they don't. I have a whole floor, and they find something to vomit on that's like is inconvenient as fuck.
Furball, baby, furball.
Just not even a furball. Just like.
Yep.
We all know cats are dicks, aren't they? So.
No, they're amazing. I have some of my my 2 are very cuddly and loving. They've been on more podcasts than enough because they hear me talking and they're like, "Hang on a second, I've not been near you all day. It's time to come and play with you."
Still dicks though.
They are.
Yeah, they're dicks. I've got 3 cats and they're all assholes.
Speaking of dicks, dicks, what you been playing?
Does it involve a tree and a daddy issue?
Probably.
No. You guys, well, I'm not that bad. I've been playing quite a lot since the last podcast we did, actually.
Ooh, what you been playing?
I finished Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Oh my god, Bowser's Fury is like so much fun. It was just like this DLC that they made for whenever they re-released 3D World or 3D Land, and I thought it wasn't really going to be anything, but it is like a brand new 3D Mario. It was so cool, and the game dynamics were really, really clever. Instead of going to different worlds and stuff, you just like go through the ocean. So everywhere, there's no like load times or anything for it. Any of the different areas. It really is very, very clever. Really enjoyed that. Great end. Plus, you get to be a massive kitty cat.
Well, of course you're in for that then, aren't you?
Yeah, it's sort of, well, nickname Tiger. Got 2 cats. Oh god, I am the crazy cat lady. Right, okay. Right, let's move on from that before I actually ruin any reputation that I have. I played Uncharted as well. I finished the first one because I want to see the Tom Holland film and compare how good that was to the actual game. That was one hard-ass game.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like, games back those days were ruthless.
See, I played the original Uncharted, and up until the last few levels when you've got those creepy ass fucking zombie things.
Oh yeah.
That's when it started to get difficult for me. Like there was a real difficulty spike there, I felt. Still a good game though.
Well, I think my difficulty spike was whenever any time you were on the jet ski.
Oh yeah.
And you had to shoot and drive at the same time. It's like in GTA, whenever they give you the missions where you had to shoot and drive at the same time, and you've got like this little dot, and you're trying to focus on what you're doing. And I was like, no, girl, no.
It's
Ain't no bigger time for
definitely
that.
you can definitely feel that it was made on the PlayStation 3 in that era
Yeah.
of games. Like gameplay wise, it doesn't hold up very well. But story
But
and
it
stuff
was
is pretty
fun.
good. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So played that, finished that, and at the moment playing a little bit of Astro's Playroom on my PS5. It is really good, and like I
So
didn't really
good.
I didn't really understand the what do you call them? What do you call the triggers?
The adapter triggers.
Adaptive triggers, right? And it's like this game is you get it on a PS5. It's just sort of demo the new control pad, right? And the new control pad's got some stuff that's already existing in Xbox and stuff, but the haptics are better on the PlayStation than the Xbox control pad. I was surprised. But they use the control pad in funny ways. It's like in Death Stranding on the PS4. Like it really surprised me how they used the control pad for like the bridge baby. That noise would come out of the actual control pad. I nearly shit myself the first night I was playing that, and I heard the bridge baby like doing its thing. And I thought because I had everything in darkness, and I thought there was like a ghost or something in the house. I really I panicked.
I would have set the
I
house on fire.
So, yeah, I nearly just like got the gaslight out. It was just fucking everywhere. Quick, burn it! I had to turn all the lights on and go and check everything. And then I came back, and then I started playing again with all the lights on. And then I noticed it was coming out of the control pad. What a loser! But it's so good. So the triggers on the PlayStation 5 control pad, they're like squishy, like normal triggers on any control pad, but and they must have like a little spring or something that can make them hard, like resistance.
So
So basically, what I'm saying is the PlayStation 5 control pad can disperse its own Viagra into its triggers to make it hard.
Yep.
But
So
you've sold me.
the triggers use a coil system to increase or decrease the resistance. So like
It was
the
so cool.
the comparison that always gets me, because it's the one that's always made, and it's so fucking true. It's the bow and arrow. For me, that's the one that you can really feel it because you hold L2 to aim your bow, and then pull R2 to draw back the arrow before you fire it. And as you're pulling back on R2, the further fully drawn the bow gets, the harder it gets to pull down the trigger. It like gives you that feeling of like drawing the bow. It's really cool.
It's absolutely amazing. I didn't realize that. I just heard about the adaptive triggers, and I was like, oh, that's just Sony using. Well, already exists because they put haptics in them. Xbox had that years ago, and they're probably just doing other things that already exist. And I was like, oh no, that's what they mean by adaptive triggers. Oh my god, that's so cool. And a little bit Outriders as well, which is like super fucking hard. You two need to get on Outriders.
Yeah, I haven't played it since the game went live. I need to get on it.
It is fun. It is hell of
I'm
fun.
fighting myself with Outriders at the minute because I really want to play it, and I can get it on Game Pass, like because it's on there for free. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go back to last gen systems.
Oh, is it not on?
No, it's
It
on.
is
It's on the
it's-
Xbox. It's on the Xbox One, which
Hmm.
I have right here. And at
Yeah.
the minute, this has been relegated to playing like 360 Xbox games. I normally play
Okay.
things like KOTOR or Mass Effect or like that on it.
Mhm.
Since I've got my PS5, and the load times are so fucking fast.
They are really fast.
Like I don't know if I can play a game like Outriders on a last gen console.
Oh, I see. So is Outriders not on PlayStation now?
No, it's not on PlayStation now. No, so it's on PlayStation 5, but I'd have to pay for it. But I can't quite justify the £60 this month because I had quite a few expenses this month. So I'm in this like weird place where I really want to play it, but at the same time, like I want to play it on PlayStation because I want the trophies and everything else. But I also don't want to deal with all the load times and everything else of last gen consoles. Because when me and Tiggs played, it was like instantaneous. Like, but then when you jumped in, no offense, like you could feel the slowdown of like everybody loading in and everything else.
Just trying to get us all on the same fucking
Yeah, that
team
was
was a pain in the
fucking
ass.
That was a bit.
Yeah.
And they still haven't fixed the cross. They're not. There's no plans to do cross-play chat, as far as I know. Well, the last I heard,
Yeah,
there was no plans, and I'm like,
it's a
guys,
bit ridiculous.
that's bad.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, I don't mind doing the Discord chat just because in most games the in-game chat is always a bit fucking chaotic. So I'm fine. I'm fine just doing Discord chat because most of my gamer friends are on Discord or on Xbox Party chat. So we tend to just have an Xbox party with my friends or Discord and fuck in-game chat. It's always shit.
Oh, what you guys been playing, Llama?
Well, so I've been playing Vala, that llama apocalypse
Oh
game
Oh,
on Games with Gold. Fucking hilarious.
we should do a stream of that.
Oh my god, yes. It's like a procedural thing. So it's just you just go through the maps. They're procedurally generated, and you have to just kill as many llamas as possible. And if they overwhelm you and you die, they just drop in a new machine suit, and you just start that map again. Like it just carries on. But the fucking dialogue is hilarious. Oh my god. So that even in the settings you can go in and there's a corniness setting. So you can dial up or dial down the corniness.
That's awesome.
So the story is you are an enforcer for the government, I guess. So what happened is there's this global corporation called Lamazon.
Lamazon?
Which is a package delivery service.
No.
And they treated their workers very badly. And they weren't giving their workers adequate time off or good working conditions. And their workers went on strike. And Lamazon then decided that what they were going to do is replace all their workers with drones fire all their workers because they're fucking capitalist pricks. So I tend to fall into all these games where I'm like, bring the systems down.
Recurring theme here, Llama.
But there's a twist with this game because I end up being on the side of the capitalists for some reason. So the Lamazon delivery people have somehow struck an alliance with actual llamas to fight the government, to fight Lamazon, who are part of the government, because why not? And so they are attacking the Lamazon distribution centers, and the government tried to build a wall to stop the llamas and then get the llamas to pay for it. But the llamas didn't pay for it.
Hang on, this is sounding very like a parody of quite a lot of real life situations.
As a whole,
it really does, doesn't it?
It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and so so that's basically the story. It's very, very loosely based on maybe fictional events. And your job as part of the government enforcement agency. You're dropped in you remote control a drone suit called a Ronald, and I forget what it stands for. But you're a remote control drone operator, and they drop this suit down, and you sort of spider crawl this suit around the city, and you pick up different guns, and your job is to kill all the llamas that are attacking everything. So you're fighting on the side of the government against the llamas, llama apocalypse. I know. But it's really fun. And you pick up all the guns and you just shoot all the llamas. And while you're doing it, the people on the radio are making all these fucking hilarious llama puns. They're just terrible.
I need to play this game.
Yeah, and you clear the level, you go to the next level, and if you die, they just drop you a new suit, and they're like, try not to break this one, and then you move on.
Oh, so you can't really die in this game?
No, it's just wave after wave after wave. And it's couch co-op. So if somebody else is there, they just pick up the controller, press a button, they can drop in next to you. I think you can co-op online as well. I haven't tried that yet. But yeah, it's just hilarious.
We'll stream it.
I was having a blast, and just giggling at all of the puns. Yeah, it was really fun.
Right,
I
we
was
need to
playing
stream
that.
this. Beardy, you down?
Do it.
I was absolutely playing that and having fun. And then I downloaded and started playing Dragon Age Origins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played Dragon Age Inquisition a couple of years ago and really fucking loved it. And Dragon Age Origins was on Xbox Game Pass, and I thought, I'll go back and play that because it's like the first game.
Mm.
And actually, it's really good. Some of the characters that I like from the other game, like I see them sort of at the beginning of their story arc, so it's kind of cool seeing them and being like, oh, look, you're little babies. The graphics are really good. The voice acting is really good. The story is really good. It doesn't feel like a clunky old game.
That's
I'm
cool.
really enjoying it. And then when I want a nice little break and just shoot shit while I'm eating pizza and drinking a beer, I kill llamas. And I don't even feel bad because it's funny.
That's awesome.
So yeah, the llama thing was on Games with Gold for free. I think it's still there, but go grab it if you
I
have
grabbed
it. It's
it off
fucking
Games
fun.
with Gold. Yeah, I think. Well, I might give that a go this week. The thing is, now I've got a PS5. I don't really want to play my Xbox. I've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla that I want to start, and I was thinking of streaming that potentially. But yeah, Beardy, what you playing?
Well, so my sin at the moment is Avengers. I've been playing a lot of Avengers. Still loving it. Still really enjoying it. I got to max level with Hawkeye. He's got this really cool, like, fucking apocalypse crop top like thing where he shows off all his abs, and it's really good. And just going back to my point earlier about the playing last gen with current gen stuff. So I've been playing online with a few people that I found across different like gaming groups and everything else, playing Avengers, and I can tell when I'm playing with somebody that's on current gen and when I'm playing with somebody that's on last gen, because like current gen, straight in the game, straight in the match, like no issues. Last gen, it's like you're such a
elitist, Stu.
Turn
You're
into a
terrible.
snob,
I'm
hasn't
sorry.
he?
I'm sorry. I just don't want to wait anymore. Like, so it's good. I've enjoyed it. The other games I've been playing is Days Gone, so PlayStation exclusive. It's on the PlayStation Plus collection, so Tigs, feel free to download it. It's all included. Which is a game from Sony Bend. It's the first kind of IP thing that they've launched. I can't remember what else that they've worked on, actually. I think they did like... So they used to make Siphon Filter games. And they made a couple of PSP and PS Vita games, but Days Gone is their first original IP and stuff for a very long time. And it's basically Sons of Anarchy, but with zombies. So you have like a motorbike, you're this biker guy, the world's gone to shit, these freakers have taken over, and you are trying to find out what happened to your girlfriend that you left on a helicopter all these years ago, and you kind of like
you left her on a helicopter. That's
she got stabbed. So as you were trying to evacuate the city, she got stabbed by a child that was turning into one of these freakers, and the chopper could only get one person on it, so you sacrificed yourself to put dying girlfriend on chopper. She gets whisked away to safety. When you go to find her, the camp that she's supposed to be at has been destroyed. It's been overrun by freakers and everything else, and you presume that she's dead, but then you find out that the guy that took her, O'Brien, is still alive. So now kind of hunting down O'Brien and finding out what's going on.
Gets to the chopper.
Yeah, it gets to the chopper. So it's all open world. It's got all these forests and everything else, but the key thing for this game was the hordes. So you have all these freakers and stuff like in the map and everything else, but they have sections where it's like World War Z, and there are hundreds of these things, and you have to use the environment to take them down. Yeah, it's really good. I've been playing
Yeah,
that.
use the environment by turning it off.
Yeah,
That's how I deal with horror.
off the
I would
console.
use it
I'm
as
out.
well.
Yeah.
I'm not. No.
Bye. And then the other game that I've been playing is Oddworld Soulstorm.
Oh yeah, I
which
downloaded
is-
that. I'm
yeah,
excited.
It's on PS Now. Not PS Now. It's on PlayStation Plus this month. And if you ever played Abe's back in the day,
Follow me.
yeah. So it's
Follow me.
a few years ago they released New and Tasty, which was the remaked version of Abe's Odyssey, and Soulstorm is the new remake of Abe's Exodus, which was the follow-up game to the original PlayStation game. And it is a beautiful game, and it's so much fun to get back into that world and just play a platformer, have fun, like figuring out the levels, using different self mechanics. And this time round, you can craft, so you can make smoke bombs, or you can use flares and like light a fuel thing to set fires and trap people. You can obviously still your mind powers to take over sligs and go around and use them against each other and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of been like my little bit of a chill game, like when I just can't really be bothered to focus on anything or follow a story or anything else. I just jump into that, and it's a good laugh, and it's still got the classic Abe humor, like, "Hey, follow me!" Like,
follow me.
So much fun. I'm glad they brought another one of those games out.
That's awesome. Awesome. Right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the show. So, if you have not liked, click the like, click the follow. Follow us at Gaymers Assemble on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and that's it. YouTube. I knew I was forgetting one. Worst host ever.
Spotify, iTunes, all that shit. Like us, follow us, give us attention.
Yeah.
Yes, love us. Slide into our DMs on any of those apps, or feel free to email us at gamersassemble@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your episode ideas. Next episode is going to be favorite sidekick.
I like that.
Digital Monk. I like that. That's a really good suggestion. So if you've got any suggestions, you want to ask us anything about the games we play, or hell, just ask us anything, just drop us a DM, drop us an email. We want to hear from you. And don't forget to click your little notification button. Notifying on Twitter is where we tell you when we're going to go live, and sometimes we do surprise podcasts. Basically, that means we didn't sort our scheduling out, and we're like, oh shit, we need to do one today.
Now! It needs to be now or never.
Truth.
No,
Truth.
quick. Thank you very much for watching, listening. We love you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. In fact, we probably would be here without you, let's be honest. Like, we just like talking shit. I'm
True,
joking.
too.
Well, this is true. Right, say goodnight, Beardy.
Night, Beardy.
Say goodnight, Llama.
Llama, good night.
And I've been your host, Tiggs. Thank you very much. And until the next time the Gamers Assemble, keep calm and game on!
Bye!
Bye!